Inqilab Zindabad. Over the years, we have heard these words hundreds of times, and they've come about to express a wide variety of emotions from the day they were first said. The words have evolved from a class joke or as a means of defiance against the unjust rules. But did you know it was Bhagat Singh who first said these words when he and Batukeshwar Dutt threw a bomb at the Central Assembly, now known as Lok Sabha, to make the deaf people hear. On this Republic Day, we are bringing back Archimarvels of CSPA, where we will share some unheard facts about the greatest architectural marvels of the nation. In this episode, we'll be discussing about the Parliament House of India, or as we know, the Sansad Bhavan. The building which not only witnessed the change of British India to an independent India, but also saw the drafting of Indian Constitution and eventually became the place where the aforementioned words Inqilab Zindabad were first said. In the original blueprints of the city of New Delhi, the council house was supposed to be in the complete complex of Rashtrapati Bhavan itself. But the 1919 Montagu-Chelmsford reforms made it necessary that a separate individual unit be constructed. Herbert Baker, the principal architect of this project, collaborated with his friend and former co-worker, Sir Edward Lancey Lutyens, to create this massive project. Baker had recommended a triangular form of the building, with the Legislative Assembly, the Council of State and the Chamber of Princes on either sides of the edifice shaped like an equilateral triangle. An impressive central dome was supposed to be the core of this whole triangular building. But Lutyens strongly objected to this triangular shape, saying that it did not align with the grand scheme of things in the future. He insisted on using a circular colosseum-like design for this massive structure. The new Capital Committee eventually approved the Lutyens' proposal on January 10, 1920. In February 1921, Prince Arthur, the Duke of Connaught, laid the foundation stone for what was once known as Council House. Records indicate that numerous reigning chiefs from various princely states and a lot of dignitaries were in attendance of the event, including the then Viceroy, Lord Chelmsford. The Duke of Connaught, in his address to the ceremony, said that these buildings will not only be the home of new representative institutions, which mark a vast stride forward in the political development of India and the British Empire, but will, I trust, stand for future generations as the symbol of India's rebirth to yet higher destinies. And yes, the Duke of Connaught, Prince Arthur, is the same person after whom the Delhi's first and biggest shopping place, Connaught Place, has been named. A circular railway track was laid temporarily around the structure during the construction process to transport materials from one part to another. Even though the foundation stone was laid by the British imperialists, but it was our ancestors who undertook the excavation and construction part towards the completion of the project. The construction of the whole structure cost a whopping 83 lakh rupees at that time. The present amount of the same will be equal to 120 crore Indian rupees. This architectural masterpiece, originally called the Council House, was then inaugurated 6 years later in January 1927 by then Viceroy Lord Irwin. At the inauguration, Sir Herbert Baker presented Lord Irwin with a gold key for the inauguration part. Little did Irwin know that with this key, he was unlocking a golden chapter in the history of India. This building was to be built to house 3 imperial legislative chambers: the Council of State, or Rajya Sabha, the Chamber of Princes, and the Central Legislative Assembly, which will later be used as the Lok Sabha. Apart from these, it also had a central hall which was used as a library and a place for central joint sessions. All of these programs were placed in the aesthetically pleasing circular framework. Architecturally speaking, the Sansad Bhavan, one of the most recognizable parliament buildings of the world, spans across 6 acres. The Sansad Bhavan measures 1/3 of a mile in circumference and 560 feet in diameter. This building has a colonnade of 144 columns spread across its circumference, which are around 27 feet tall each, made up of creamy sandstone. The building in itself, the entirety, is made up of red sandstone, which is a mindful extension of the Delhi's Mughal architectural style and the heritage with which it was built. The structure in its all has a total of 12 doors. Out of these 12, 5 doors have adorned with beautiful mandap-style pillars, and the other 7 are adorned with exquisite sculptures of flowers and leaves. The outer corridor is laden with paintings of Mughal courts. All the paintings are made by indigenous painters. One of the most unique and underrated features about the Sansad Bhavan are its ceilings. The ceilings, which are made with barrel walls and arches, give a 3D effect when light filters in through them, creating an overall architectural marvel. The central hall, one of the most important chambers of the house, is a big round room which has 3 entrances and lawns around it. The lawns are laden with sculptures of the most prominent Indian leaders. It's also known as the transparent dome since it's made up of glass and steel, giving it a very weightless and transparent feeling. It allows light to beautifully filter in, creating natural abundant light inside. However, keeping in mind the delimitation and paucity of the space in the current building, a new triangular parliament has been proposed, much to the vindication of Herbert Baker. Though not at the same location as Lutyens proposed for this lookalike building, but it's just a stone's throw away from the current parliament. The new parliament building, designed by the renowned architect Bimal Patel, promises to be an imposing landmark, enormous in scale and ambition, as well as contemporary in construction and functionality. According to Patel's architecture firm, HCP Design Planning and Management in Ahmedabad, the triangular plot served as the inspiration for the form of the design. The main goal was to make sure that as much land as in hand can be utilized in a positive way. The new Lok Sabha has a sitting capacity of 888 members, which may be raised to even 1224 during joint sessions, making it 3 times larger than the older one. The Rajya Sabha has a space for 384 members, making it 4 times larger than the existing chamber. The height and size of the new parliament building are identical to that of the old one. According to the HCP firm, the new building's architecture and aesthetics are inspired by the existing structure and the other structures in the central vista. Also, inspiration from the traditional art and craft of India and the tribal art has been derived for the same. While the construction of this new parliament might feel like an out with the old, in with the new type of situation, but the truth is that for us Indians, we'll always have a sense of pride whenever we look at the old parliament building. Because for us, it will always be the building where India began its tryst with destiny. If you like this episode and have a new sense of appreciation for the Parliament House, let us know in the comments below to keep us motivated to create more content like this. Until then, it's me, Aditi Pathak, signing off.